Guys, I'm here with another Ericksonian hypnotic language pattern video. Before we get started, if you are interested in the Ericksonian 3-day pre-conference course that we're going to be offering at Hypnothoughts Live this year, sign up in the link above. And if you're still on the fence about whether or not you want to take it, let me kind of throw this in to entice you a bit more. Along with the Ericksonian hypnotic skills and therapeutic skills, this course is very special because we also use deep trance identification. The deep trance identification protocol that we use with clients will be using with attendees to help you to really integrate the mindset and skills of a masterful Ericksonian hypnotist on a deep unconscious level. So whether you're interested purely in Ericksonian or you're interested in how to implement DTI, sign up in the course above. All right, so one other thing, I am in my office today filming on my cell phone, which has an awesome camera, but which also means there might be some funny angles because I don't have a tripod here to set this up on, so hopefully it looks good. And let's jump right in. Today's language pattern is the complex equivalence. And the complex equivalence, the easiest way to understand it is it's an equal sign. This means that, this is that. When this, that. So it's just a fancy way of saying one thing equals something else. And complex equivalence, along with cause-effect language patterns, are the two most common language patterns that clients will use when they come in when they have a problem. So for example, for a complex equivalence, a client might say, I am depressed, I am anxious, I am a smoker. That language pattern has to be undone at some point because they're equating their identity with a state or a behavior. So just be aware of that. This is a really, really common language pattern on the problem side. And it's also a fantastic language pattern on the solution side, the resource side, the induction side. Now, this language pattern can be encapsulated in actually a few different words and language patterns. So you're getting like 3 for the price of 1. The first, which I'm not going to go too much into on this video, is I am. And the reason why I'm not going to talk too much about I am is that Sean's going to do a separate video about that because it's so important for change workers that we're going to give it its own dedicated video. So that will be coming out shortly. The other language patterns, which are much easier and very fun, especially when doing inductions, are which means, as soon as, and when. And in this video, I'm going to talk specifically about their use in hypnotic inductions. And the way that I use them is I typically like to tie behavior or something I'm observing in someone's unconscious communication with a hypnotic suggestion for internal processing. So put simply, that might be something like, well, let's just take a time out. If you're driving, don't watch this. Wait till you're not operating any machinery because it could be a little bit trancy. So as soon as you're ready to feel comfortable, you can just take a moment and notice where you're sitting and how you're breathing. And you might notice some, energy inside because we are just beginning to slow things down, which means you can also be aware of that moment when things do begin to slow down. When the thoughts have more space in between. When your breathing becomes more comfortable. You can allow the rest of you to relax. And as you track that, you can realize that your ability to change states and also to recognize states, and they're changing, means that you can really integrate on a deep unconscious level these language patterns because it's simple to trust your unconscious mind, to know that when you see some behavior from a client that indicates trance and transformation, that means it's your opportunity to continue to help them to build momentum in that direction. So as you're sitting here watching this now, you can be aware of your own inner processes and your own inner states. and you can just allow them to be as they are. And you might even hear sounds from my background, which are just reminders that you're focusing on something more important as you develop your hypnotic language skill set. So as you return to normal awareness, you can have a sense of the different ways in which you can bounce between conscious and unconscious. If we were to do this as a more robust induction, I might elicit some hypnotic phenomena and then use these language patterns to stack meaning onto it. So for example, if you're doing something like an arm levitation, what makes an arm levitation so powerful is the meaning that is assigned to it. And we as hypnotists can either assign meaning to it based on what the client has said their desired outcomes are. We can assign meaning to it based on process instructions, or we can keep it wide open, build a sense of curiosity for the client, and let them put the second half of that complex equivalence in place, meaning they fill in unconsciously the meaning to it. So if you're curious more about how to do that and what that means, remember to sign up in the link above. These language patterns are a lot of fun. So just to recap, it's when, as soon as, and which means, or I think like once or twice I just narrowed it down to which. That works as well, or this means, or that means. Just when you do this, the thing to keep in mind is that you're taking one experience, one behavior, one state, and you're creating meaning by linking it to something else, linking it to a hypnotic suggestion. It doesn't matter if they're related or not, because remember, we talked about plausibility. So as long as it seems plausible, the unconscious mind will go, yeah, let's do it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you in August. Bye.